Well, they're out and about getting after Mike Huckabee because of his comments and comparing the Holocaust to the Iranian nuclear deal, which the majority of Americans do not want Congress to approve. It's a slight majority. I think it's like 52% of Americans are saying to Congress, do not approve this Iranian nuclear deal. We would be the only country that would be saying no to it. So the 60-day window of debate and back and forth on this continues in the Congress. In the meantime, Huckabee is being chastised by most people, but not everybody. Listen to his interview with Sean Hannity.
I believe history will prove this deal with Iran is worse than Munich 1938. I pray that I'm wrong. Am I wrong?
You're not wrong. You're right. And in part because it took an incredible apparatus to build the structure to murder people one at a time or several hundred at a time, 10,000 a day in Auschwitz. With one nuclear device, several million people can be murdered and killed. And I think we underestimate the radical nature of these animals who run Iran.
What is wrong with Obama?
State.
So there you have it. There's Hannity in the media who is saying hope it doesn't turn out to be Neville Chamberlain. And also the fact that he thinks that this Iranian deal is horrible. And there are people that do believe that in this country. That's what the debate is all about. But how come he's not backing down? His comment was that Obama was walking the Israelis to the oven doors. And a lot of people are up in arms about that and demanding apology and everything else, except Hannity. But wait a minute, there's one more, Donald Trump.
I'm okay with it. I think he's a very good guy, Huckabee, by the way, and I'm really okay with it. I see some people are, saying, oh, the tone, and I saw Jeb Bush, who I think is also a nice person, but it's not about tone. I mean, they're chopping off Christians' heads in Syria and lots of other places, and we're worried about tone. I think what Mike has done is he's hit a nerve, and he's made people think a little bit.
I can't disagree with that. People are thinking quite a bit about this. He could have done it in a different way. Certainly didn't have to involve the president walking the Israelis to the oven doors. There's other way of saying it. But, of course, we're in a news cycle where the guy you just heard from, Donald Trump, is sucking a lot of air out of the room, and Huckabee's fighting for attention. I think he'll get support. He's fundraising on it already, by the way. Now, what if this deal does not go through Congress? What if the United States is the only superpower on the globe to say, no, we're not going to do this deal with the Iranians? This is John Kerry's reaction.
I don't know how I go out to another country, if that happens, and say, hey, you ought to negotiate with us, or you ought to talk to us about any issue, whatever it is, with a reliance that we can actually deliver. Because they will sit there and say, well, you got 535 secretaries of state in the United States. We don't know who we're negotiating with.
So how is this going to play out? The Koch brothers probably have a pretty big hand in this. They probably have an opinion on this, although they have not revealed it as of yet. And I think that's going to be coming pretty soon. What is interesting about the Koch brothers in this 2016 cycle, early on they're trying to ice out the guy who's leading in the polls, and that's Donald Trump. Trump is not going to be invited to the Koch brother compound in Orange County, Florida, this summer when they have their big conservative shindig. He's not going to be given access to the mega donors who are connected to the Kochs, and he's not going to be given access to any data, which is rather extensive, on how to run a campaign. This is good news for liberals in this country. This is good news for anybody who wins the Democratic nomination, because this is just going to get Trump's back up, and this is like Donald Trump being thrown out of the Republican Party, being thrown out of the club, which is only going to force him, because of his ego, to run as a third-party candidate, which is going to walk a Democrat right into the White House. So the rift between the Kochs and Trump, they used to be good buddies, but apparently now they are political enemies, and they view Trump as a real threat.